I'd like to welcome everyone out to the Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, July 18th, 2019. We'll call the meeting to order, and we will start off with the Pledge of Allegiance by Berkeley and Kennedy King. You can pull the mic down if you like.
Okay. Please stand. Join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. We do have a full quorum today, and we'll turn to see if there's any conflicts of interest on any of the items. Seeing that there are none, we will jump into item 1.4, which is approval of minutes for June 6th and June 20th. We'll do them combined unless there's any items in question. We'll look for a motion on that for approval.
A motion to approve minutes from June 6th and June 20th, 2019.
I'll second that.
Motion by Lauren, a second by Heather, and we'll go down with a vote. Lauren?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Brody?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
And Andy?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll now move on to item 2.1, which is a request or recognition of a legal non-conforming use for a duplex and turn to the city. Staff. Are we too fast here, Bryn?
Just trying to get. Why is it not liking me? You guys can't see it, can you?
Nope. Aye.
So the first item is for we're working on it, for a non-conforming use. So let's just talk a little bit about how that works. The Planning Commission is authorized to make decisions regarding non-conforming structures. The property owner can request you to make that determination of the non-conforming structure based on evidence that they submit. What this does is, if the use was legally established, at the time it was established, if it was legal, then it can continue in that use, even if that use later becomes illegal. So for example, this property was in the county and then became part of the city. And what you need to determine is if it was legally created in the county when it was created, and then as long as it was legally created and has continued as that use, then you can determine it's legal non-conforming. I'm still trying to get this fixed. Hold on. Do you have any questions about how that works? All right. Oh, there it goes. That one? Nope.
Bryn, if you want, should we have the applicant come up and
Yeah,
talk,
you
and
can
then
do
we'll
that.
jump back
Yep.
into this? If the applicant's present, do you mind coming up and then just stating your name and then adding maybe any other insight into this?
First, my name is David King. I'm the current owner. But, yeah, I purchased this property about a month ago. Oh, apologize. Purchased this property about a month ago. It was originally, I don't know how much information you want me to give, but it's all in the application. I'm not sure if you had a chance to read that or not. Do you have
We have.
questions about?
Yeah.
We have looked at it, but if you want to share any other insight or anything else, or,
There's nothing really outside of what's already in the application, but I can run through a super short summary of how
That'd be great.
kind of happened over the years. But their property was originally built in 1948 and was owned by the Danzy family. And from 1948 to 1967, there was two sort of portions to this property, or to the house, to the structure. One, the front part was a restaurant slash store, and known as Danzy's Place, and a lot of the longtime residents remember that. And the back home part functioned as a home. And in 1967, there's a variety of sources that sort of support this and lead to this, is the property was converted to a duplex. The front part of the property where the restaurant was walled off and
And we do have pictures now.
yeah, so this, I can tell you a little bit about this, and this was found in this is pictures from the 1975, 1976 assessment done on the property. And further on, here in the application, there's actually a picture of the packet where this came from. I had to search really deep to find this. I had to go to the Salt Lake County Archives to do this. I had to pay a Salt Lake County archivist to look for all of the information that they possibly could on this property. So this, you'll notice the 2 power meters here in front. And also in this assessment packet, it's hard to see it in this because what you're looking at, this is further down the line in the application, but it says 1969. I don't know why it says that, of course. It might have been an assumption made by the assessor who was doing this 1975, 1976 assessment. But on this assessment card, it says 1969 DUP, or you can't read the writing very well. And this here, it says, this is here is a scan of a scan of a scan. So it's not going to show up very clearly on this, but it says 1969 DUP or 1965 capital D lowercase p, possibly indicating that this property was, he had known, or this assessor knew had knowledge that the property was being used as a duplex. I don't know if there's more pictures I can. This is a picture of how the property looks now, exactly how it did in that 1975, 1976 picture, other than the fact that the siding's been changed. The 2 power meters are still clearly noticeable there on the unit B. And I should note that the property to the United States Postal Service is known. This is 6351 West, 13100 South, Unit A, and 6351 West, 13100 South, Unit B. There's 2 mailboxes. I actually spoke to, have a notarized letter from the mail carrier's wife. The mail carrier passed away about 1.5 years ago. His name was Almond Butterfield. But the mail carrier's wife, Marnell Butterfield, she has a notarized statement. You might have read it, but she has memories of this property being a duplex that far back and has known it to be that way. Her daughter knows it to be that way. So this here's a picture of, I got this from the Salt Lake County zoning commissioner. I have an email from him that'll come up here in just a second. But this A1, Harriman prior to 1959 was not zoned. August 1959, Harriman had a zoning, and it was the A1 zone, agricultural zone. And in that month, that year, the Salt Lake County designated Harriman as an A1 zone, which permitted, you'll see here this big arrow is pointing to it, they permitted 2 family dwellings, which are duplexes. And the next image is an email. Oh, no, that's not it. But there's another image of an email that I got from the Salt Lake County Planning Commissioner that said 2 family dwellings are duplexes. So this is from a 1970 zoning ordinance, which supports the fact that 2 family dwellings were legal in 1967 at the time that this property was converted to a duplex. There's other evidences as well, but maybe the next image, if that's okay.
That's all I've got.
Oh, is that all? Is that all? Okay.
Yeah, they've got it all in their packet.
Okay. I don't know, do you have any questions?
Are there any questions from the planning commission?
I don't.
I have one.
Yeah.
I guess, just reading through the packet, is the intention to demolish the existing buildings and put them?
No.
Okay.
I want to just keep it forever, make it look better than it does now, remodel it, and keep it and use it as a duplex.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you, and I appreciate your thoroughness.
Sure.
It makes
Thank
our
you.
process easier.
Hey, great job. Thank you.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll go back to Bryn. Is there anything else are we good?
No, I would just, if you're going to make a decision, if you are going to approve it, I would, I think he says it in the staff reports, based on the evidence submitted, and maybe kind of read through what the recommendation is based on the evidence submitted and the rationale outlined in the staff report.
Then I'll turn to the Planning Commission for any additional comments.
I don't have any.
Same here, no comments.
Then I'll turn to the Planning Commission for a motion.
I move to approve item 2.1, request for recognition of a legal non-conforming use of a duplex.
I'll second that.
Motion by Lauren, second by Adam, and we'll start on that side with the vote. Lauren?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Brody?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
And Andy?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We'll move on to item 2.2, which is a request for a one-year extension for a two-lot subdivision, and we'll turn the time to the city staff.
And I apologize for this horrid font. This computer changed my font. So again, this is for an extension for a two-lot subdivision that you guys approved 2 years ago. The ordinance allows the planning commission to grant extensions up to 4 years. The applicant is requesting 1 year at this point. Again, this is the property. It's on the corner of Rose Canyon and Triple Crown. And this is what the proposed subdivision looks like. They're almost done with the engineering. They just needed an extension really just for a couple months. So they're just asking for a year at this point. Any questions?
Can you go back to the last image?
Is the applicant present? If you don't mind coming up, just stating your name and then any other details.
Janice Pratt Doherty. I've been working on this and have had a lot of help from the staff, the engineering department, Horix Engineering, and they have submitted the first submittal. It did come back with very few changes, which was this week, and they did resubmit it with those changes the very day they got it. In addition, I do have the title report and search done, which has been submitted to the city as well and is in their files. It's 98% done. I just didn't want to get too close to the first and have to come back here, so I asked for an extension for a year.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for the applicant? No. I think you can have a seat for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll turn to the Planning Commission. Any questions, concerns, comments?
I don't have anything. Nope.
Then I will turn to the Planning Commission for motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item 2.2, request for 1 year extension for two-lot subdivision with staff's 8 recommendations.
I'll second it.
Motion by Brody, second by Adam. And we'll start on this side with Andy.
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
Brody?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
And Lauren?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll now move on to item 2.3, which is a request for a discussion of proposed open space and amenities for South Hills Pod 2. And we'll turn to city staff.
All right. So this is, as you said, part of South Hills Pod 2, which is down just kind of southwest of the RSL Stadium. This is their original overall approval, so Pod 2 is kind of this-ish area. This is one of the conceptual layouts that you saw. So again, they had a couple pockets of open space, and then as you'll remember, there's a trail along the canal. Their approval, I think I have it in here somewhere. Their approval required, it's somewhere, 2, detailed plan on amenities and open space to be submitted and reviewed as part of engineering review. So really, what they had submitted as far as the amenities was conceptual, and there was nothing specific in the approval about the amenities they had to require. And whereas I felt that this said staff could basically approve it, I don't ever like doing that without talking to you guys. So I'm here to show you what they want to submit. So they did make a couple changes. One of the things that they changed is they actually added another open space. This is the plan you approved. It had a pod here and here, and they actually removed this lot as well and made that open space.
We can't see your mouse.
We can't see your mouse.
Can't see your mouse.
Oh, why do
But
I
it's
do
kinda
that?
funny to hear you
Okay,
say
there you go.
There we go. Now we can see it. Thank you.
There was these two here. They have since removed this lot and added an open space here as well. So, like that. Cool. So they've got these 3 spots is what they've submitted, and what we're gonna now show you just what they're gonna put. These are, again, they were just shown as open spaces. There was nothing in the approval letter as to what they were gonna be specifically. So this is the first one, which is this, hold on, I'll put the mouse over here. The one up here over in the corner. And it does have some parking, and they're proposing a hammock park. Apparently, it's all the rage these days. I don't get it, but whatever.
Because nobody has trees big enough to put your own hammock in.
That's true, because my kids try and do it, and it does not work at
New
home.
trees. and-
Yeah.
2-inch
So-
calipers.
The second open space, the other 2 open spaces are really just open spaces, just landscaped trees, a couple benches. And then this is the third one. These spaces are all maintained by the HOA. So they're not no city maintenance on them. They do, just to show you the layout here, they originally did talk about putting a park or some kind of amenity like that there. But if you'll remember, mouse over here, we built a park as part of the RSL complex, so there's a playground and a large parking lot right here. So I think they felt, and they can speak to it, they didn't really want to duplicate some kind of playground or tot lot where there was already one right there.
Is there a detention facility right there too? Is that what that is? That big open space there?
This, I think, is detention, yeah. Yeah,
It looks too smooth.
It looks too, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure it is.
So it won't be changing, I guess, its use?
No, and the city owns this, the city owns this park, yeah.
Okay.
The city maintains the park?
City owns it, RSL maintains it as part of we have an agreement with them, they maintain it as part of the stadium. But that's what I have, so really you're just, again, approving these 3 open spaces. Just wanted to make sure you guys didn't have any concerns. They will submit way better plans with all kinds of sprinkler lines and fancy utility sheets, but we didn't think we needed to bore you guys with that stuff, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bryn.
The applicant is here if you've got questions.
Is the applicant present? If you want to just state your name and if you have anything else to add.
Sure. Good evening. Adam Loser with D.R. Horton. I don't really have anything else to add. Bryn does a good job covering it.
Great, then I'll just ask the planning commission if they have any questions for you. I'll let you sit down.
Thanks.
That was easy. And then I'll turn to the planning commission for any additional comments or if they're ready to make a motion.
No discussion? I'll go ahead and make a motion then.
Yeah, let's do a motion.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve item 2.3.
I'll second that.
Motion by Andy and a second by Heather, and we'll start on this side with Lauren
Yes.
and Adam,
Yes.
Brody,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
and Andy.
Yes.
And that passes. And then we'll move on. Item 3 is just if there's any additional comments from the planning commission. And then we have future meetings. July 31st will be a joint planning commission and city council meeting at 6 p.m. That's a Wednesday. And then August 1st will be a planning commission meeting at 7 p.m. And then August 14th will be the next city council meeting. And then a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.